Hey everybody. So before we start this video, I wanted to take 2 seconds to look at slides 10, 11, and 12, just so that no one overlooks them. So these are very important slides for the nursing school if anyone's looking to apply to the nursing school. These are going to be discussing neurotransmitters and their location, as well as their major actions, as well as different disorders and different drugs that impact those neurotransmitters. So just keep those in mind. For this slide, we're going to talk about cessation. Cessation is the ending of a signal. So as we mentioned a few minutes ago, how do we activate a signal? Now we're going to talk about what happens when it's over, because every signal needs to end. So if you want to flex to show off your muscles, then you're going to activate a signal in those muscles. When you're done flexing, you want to end that signal, stop those contractions. So this is going to be what happens when you are finished. So because we're talking about acetylcholine, it's important to keep in mind that, yes, we're going to be using it as an example, but there are different methods that you can use depending on the neurotransmitter. So, as we know, acetylcholine will bind to those receptors, and it's only going to be for a short period of time. After that, it will dissociate. It will release from the receptor. How do you remove these neurotransmitters from the synapse? There's a couple ways. So the first one is diffusion. So we can reuptake these neurotransmitters. You may have heard of this term before because of different medications. And a reuptake means that at this time there's neurotransmitters in the synapse. When we're done and they release from the receptors, they are going to be reuptaken into the presynaptic terminal. That's reuptake. And it's done by diffusion. The second option is we can destroy them. We could break them down. Two questions. Number one, what's going to break it down? And then two, well, what's going to break it down? So what do I mean by that is, what's actually going to break down the acetylcholine? They're going to be enzymes. Enzymes' jobs are going to be to come in here and to break them down. What is the name of these potential enzymes? We have monoamine oxidase, or MAO, or acetylcholinesterase. Acetylcholinesterase is the one we talk about a little bit more because, again, we're talking about acetylcholine, and people can usually notice that it is an enzyme because it has ACE at the end. And this enzyme's job is to break down acetylcholine. So we call it acetylcholinesterase. Last thing to mention before we finish up this video is the different modes of cellular communication. And really, the first question you have to ask is, what is a neurotransmitter? So a neurotransmitter is any chemical that can be synthesized by a presynaptic neuron, released in response to stimulation, and bind to receptors on the postsynaptic cells, and alter the physiology. So basically everything we described in the last two videos, if you can do that, you're a neurotransmitter, which means that there are some neuropeptides, some neuromodulators, and some inorganic gases that we can technically consider neurotransmitters. So with that said, if you have any questions, please let me know.